interest. 3, then you find a place for that money to go where it can work for you. 4, and then every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, you join me for a wealth webinar.
I'll do it.
It's free. Plus, if you join me now, you'll get my free ebook that teaches you to get all the money back for every car you buy, drive, and own. So take advantage of this opportunity, and I'll see you there.
Hey, are you ready to take control of your financial future? Welcome to Private Money Club. Private Money Club is the ultimate online platform connecting real estate entrepreneurs with private money lenders just like you. Whether you're looking to fund your next deal or lend money to grow your wealth, Private Money Club is your go-to resource. You can post deals, find funding, connect with other like-minded professionals. It's just a community. It's a community that you need to plug into. If you're new to the game, no problem. Our Learn platform and our weekly coaching webinars and our on-demand resources are here to guide you every step of the way. Join a thriving network of real estate experts who are already making an impact, and they're waiting to partner with you. So Private Money Club gives you the tools, the training, the connections, and everything you need to achieve your financial goals. So why don't you start now by going to privatemoneyclub.com. We'll see you inside. Hey, you need to become your own bank. And it's as simple as changing one thing, and that is where your money goes first. I mean, think about it. Household debts in this country are at all-time highs. You got tons of market volatility. You got the potential for Social Security running out of money. You've got global uncertainty, political divide, and you have to figure out where you're going to put your hard-earned savings. I mean, this is one of those times in history where the rich are getting richer, and it is time to learn the secrets of the wealthy. But here's the good news. Every single Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I put on a free webinar where I teach you how to take back control of your money by teaching you how to become your own bank. So click the link below and let's get started.
So let's go into the app, because the app was created after a dating site, believe it or not. So people with money and people that need money. Phone, swipe left. Swipe left. Ooh, I like that one. Swipe right. You want to go on. If you got money, you want to swipe left through all the deals. When you find one you like, boom, you're connected. How much more difficult does this really need to be? This isn't rocket science. They want you to think it is because they want control of your money. It is time to take back control of our money. I want to invite you to a free interactive webinar that we're doing to teach you how to get prepared for what's about to happen and how you can grow, preserve, and protect your wealth and get it ready for a recession or maybe the next Great Depression. So all I need you to do is click the link below. You're not going to want to miss this with all this stuff going on. Are you sick of having your money lying around not doing anything? Well, we've got the solution for you. PrivateMoneyClub.com. Back to you, Chris. So that's what it is. Private Money Club was created for you and for all of us. So I've got something special. Since you're here, you're listening to us talk to you about the infinite banking concept, I wanted to make an offer. Private Money Club is something that will benefit each of you, but we've got what's called the Accelerator. The Private Money Club Accelerator is a coaching program that takes together the knowledge that you'll need to be your own bank and puts it together with the opportunities in Private Money Club so that now you learn and apply the knowledge. Check it out. We got a very special offer for you to be part of the next Accelerator coaching program and get you into Private Money Club so your money starts working for you.
Hey everybody, it's Buff Finance Guy here, ready to show you how to make some serious gains. But not only in the gym, with your wallet too. Most people put their money in the bank doing absolutely nothing for them. But I'm gonna show you how it doesn't have to be that way. So take Andrew here. His money has just been sitting lazy in the bank. But all he has to do is change one thing, and that's where the money goes first, and everything changes. Just change where your money goes first, silly.
Wait, just one change?
Yeah, that's it. Instead of sending it to the bank, you send it to your very own banking system. And your money can grow and get stronger, just like me.
It's time for Money School TV. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth.
The Money School TV strives to bring you the most relevant content of how money really works, past, present, and future. It's not a one-size-fits-all system. This platform provides you with ways to implement strategic decisions while avoiding fear-based decisions at all costs. Totally digital with new content added all the time on financial wealth creation strategies and how to regain control of your money. This 2-hour monthly group coaching with Chris Noggle is available now for only $19 per month. This is something you don't want to miss. Click the link below to get access now.
You've been on the fence to come to PMC Money Take. I'm telling you right now, you're missing out on a treat.
This is the ultimate watering hole for lenders and borrowers.
If you've got decent deals, you'll find the funding for it.
The networking here has been fantastic.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Tremendously beneficial.
Oh my gosh, so many people to network with.
First day, I probably met 5 or 6 people. They show me ideas, I show them ideas. We're actually on stage about 20 minutes ago, and since then, I've already had about 20 people reach out.
There are several people that I probably will be doing business with.
I have like 15 private lenders ready to fund my deals. The people here are amazing and so welcoming.
You walk in, everyone greets you right away. No one is a stranger.
It's just an amazing and comfortable place to be.
There's so much stuff that I've been able to learn that I didn't know. I've had aha moments over and over again.
They talked about normal rates of return, not 6%, we're talking about 10%, but in a way that's ethically sound and stable. It's full disclosure, but helps walk you through everything. They even talk about it on stage of like, we've already made the mistakes, so here we are, and we're teaching you to not make the same mistakes. You get to learn from us, you get to just follow our direction and just see what you can do. I've gotten great things out of the virtual events, but there's no comparison to actually coming here, experiencing the energy, and getting to meet all of the people. Everyone is here looking to grow in some capacity. Being in this environment, it allows you to feed on that and foster that.
During the event, they had a lender-borrower meet and greet, which is pretty cool. Different when you can spend some time, have a meal together, hang out, joke around. The people are just a blast.
It's so much fun.
The community of the Money Tank PMC, the whole crew with Chris, Steven, Jonah, everybody, and Joe, they've all helped me out. It's been changing my life.
You're gonna learn something, you're gonna meet someone, and it's definitely gonna make a big difference in your business. Not by a little bit, but by a lot.
I mean, you could stay stuck thinking you can do it on your own. There's a lot of people that I talk to, their issue, and then they come here, and I talk to them a year later, and they've grown so much just by coming to this event.
Started $15,000 in credit card debt. As of today, I have $550,000 out in private lending. That's what this teaches you.
Tell people.
Good morning. What's going on, everybody in WTF? I know we had a little bit of a late start today, but I'm so glad to see all of you from all over the place. Please come in on the chat, come in on the conversation, because you know what? I am flying solo today. I'm flying solo. Hopefully we'll have a few guests coming in, but good morning, Tina Berry from sunny Florida. West Gray, Ontario. What's going on, Chris? Chris, always good to argue with you every single Wednesday morning. And Par Rump from sunny Par Rump. I don't know where that is, sassy trainer, but you looking sassy and classy. It's very good to see all of you guys online with this stream today. Today, guys, we have Nagy and Noggle. They are away for a business awards recognition in Ireland and Boston. So guess what? The inmates are running the asylum. That's right. My name is St. James, and I'm going to be hosting your segment today for WTF. Today, we're going to be going over all of the news, all the reviews that is pertinent for your life, and maybe a little bit of sprinkle, dinkle, razzle, dazzle for all those things in between. Now, what are we going to be going over today is going to be a pretty wide breadth. All right. We are going to be talking a little bit about how SpaceX was almost in the S&P 500, then kicked back out, but somehow your funds were still included into the run. A lot of these situations, a lot of these funds, they automatically bought Starlink. And what does that mean for your money for those of you who have 401ks? We are going to be talking about the talk of the town and the Trump accounts. Now, if you're not familiar with what these Trump accounts are, but it's basically a government contribution to your child's well-being. Sounds good. Or is it? Is it just another way for the government to hold your money and say, we're going to give you a little something, but really you're placing your money in maybe not the best vehicle that's out there, the best savings vehicle for your family? I've got a grandson. He's about to be a year old in November, and I'm weighing the options of, should we put the money in the Trump account? Should we put it in a 529? Or should we start a whole life? That is going to be the question that I'm going to be posing today. And I want to hear all of your feedback in terms of what your thoughts are in a lot of these situations and these questions. There might be a bit of departure from the company gospel of, what we stand for here at BYOB. But the thing is that we grow by asking these hard-hitting questions and questioning the status quo, because a lot of you guys are free thinkers here. And then finally, we are going to be going into what's happening at the World Cup. I mean, Donnie got involved and said, hey, you better take this red card back. And as the winner of the inaugural FIFA, what is it? The Peace Prize, the FIFA Introductory World Peace Prize. I guess that gave him a little bit of sway with FIFA, and they had to listen to what they said, and they had to pick up and rescind the red card, which has never been done before. I think it's only been done once before ever. But it's quite questionable, the circumstances, and, well, we've seen what happened with the United States after all of this. So looking all of this stuff, but yeah, Jim, I'm a little bit taller. I'm a little bit darker than Chris Noggle. But yeah, it should be pretty cool. And Nevada is in the building as well. So good to see everybody here, guys. We're going to get this party started really quickly. Bear with me while I deal with all these. I'm usually not the one at the wheel, but it should be pretty fun rolling with all of you guys, though. Let's see what we got here. Okay, the Trump accounts, they're live. We've been hearing about these things, I believe, since last year. We've been talking out about them. Before I go any further, chat, talk to me. What do you guys think about these Trump accounts? What do you think about them going live the 4th of July? I mean, the timing was perfect. If you're going to announce a major, financial program, sure, let's announce it right in America's 250th birthday. Let's talk about how the government is going to be able to contribute. It says here a one-time $1,000 government deposit. Now, my thoughts and feelings have been a little bit mixed about these Trump accounts, and it doesn't have anything to do with the name. Hey, Trump account, I don't care if you call it the Boris Yeltsin account. I don't care if you call it the Snuffleupagus account. The fact is, at its function, what does it do? And what it is if you have a child, I believe if they're born between 2025 and 2028, children get a one-time government deposit, which is great, right? I mean, $1,000 to basically seed their financial futures. What could be better than that? Okay. And any child with a Social Security can get one, and parents can contribute up to $5,000 per year. So now you get that $5,000 deposit to keep, that can keep going, which is pretty good. And employers can add another $2,500. Now, I have a feeling that this is going to be something that 20 and 25 years, this is going to be the norm. Yeah, I put a little bit of money into this Trump account. I think it'll probably get renamed over the course of time. I mean, these things just happen. But at its function, okay, you can get up to $7,500 per year deposited into this account, but it's a one-time $1,000 deposit. But notice certain words that I'm not saying. Notice that I'm not saying it's like after it's the money is pre-tax dollars that's going into this account. Notice that I'm saying that, are you going to be taxed on the money on the way out? So this $1,000 deposit, it seems a little bit interesting because yes, it's a good amount of money to put the money in, and $1,000 today. Hey, I agree with you. $1,000 today, by no stretch of the imagination, it is always going to be worth more today than it's going to be worth 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 50 years from now. And children, what they could do is that this money grows tax deferred until the child turns 18, at which point standard IRA rules apply, and withdrawals before 59 and a half trigger income taxes and a 10% penalty. So the money is locked up basically until they're 60 years old. Let's just round it up. Okay. And now they're able to go ahead and be able to make these withdrawals. But if that's the case, why not just do a Roth IRA? Let's do a comparison here, okay? Let's do 3 different scenarios. And obviously, your level or the person's level of financial sophistication and availability really plays a part into this. Because some people are only going to be able to choose one course of action when it comes to determining where they're going to allocate their funds for their children's financial future. I met a woman. She owned like 5 different daycares. She's like, yeah, I opened up whole life policy. I opened up 529 plans for all my kids. I did all of that. And then I know people that work at the car dealership and they're like, I can do maybe one. So it seems like doing this Trump account seems to make sense because I'm getting $1,000 to get started. I'm not even going to be maxing out the $5,000. So we have 2 polar opposite ends of the financial diaspora who are looking and trying to make decisions for their children's futures, but maybe not every single tool is going to be available for them. And of course, I mean, look, this is BYOB here, guys. Of course, I have to compare this also to starting up a whole life policy for your child. You know, these are one of these policies that are custom designed so that they have immediate cash value within the first 30 days. And this that allows them to save and spend at the same time. But the thing is, you have to be a good banker. And the money is not tied up to just an educational fund. So let's just break down this a little bit really quickly. Let's see here. We got some comments coming in. Yes, it's interesting, but what control do we, the people, have? Not very much, Gina. The money's locked up. Maybe Michael Dell will give you $250. All right. I have a bigger problem with it. Why do only certain individuals get it based on nothing but date of birth? Well, I mean, the policy, the thing had to be started with Trump, and I think there's going to be a level of review. And if the program is successful, if the Trump accounts are successful, it seems reasonable. Why not keep it going? But I also see this as a covert way for the government to prop up the stock market, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because we need people to have money into these markets. As much as we talk about being in control of our financial futures, the stock markets are not going to go away. If you are a fan of free market capitalism, you also have to be a fan of having these markets, about having the stock market. All right. That's just the way our country is set up. And if we just said, poof, you know, we don't want a stock market anymore, think about how much economic turmoil that would cause. And I don't want that, especially not for my children. So let's just find the rules of the game. Let's play by the rules of the game and see which path is going to be able to help us have the best future. Okay. 529 account is only good if the child agrees to go to college. Yes. And all right. Because Lynn, you pose a great question. A 529 plan is good for children, and it is to be used for them to be able to go to higher education, but they can also go to contracting school. They can go to aesthetic school. They can go into the trades. They can go into lineman training school. So there are certain educational programs that are outside of the traditional realm of college that the 529 plan can be applied for so that a child can be able to use them and be able to use that for their education. So just think of it as a higher education program that is not limited to just college and university. So that's something that's very important here. So here's a comparison, guys. We're going to do a little bit of education. Please forgive me. I couldn't memorize everything, and it's just me. A 529 beats the Trump accounts for education savings. Growth isn't taxed at withdrawal. Lifetime limits run from 235 to 600K, depending on the state, and you get state deductions in 30 plus states. So the account counts as a parent asset for financial aid purposes, which is less damaging than student asset. And Trump accounts tax withdrawals as ordinary income and don't offer state deductions. Now let's compare it against a Roth IRA. Roth wins on a tax treatment. Growth and qualified withdrawals are tax-free. So you get taxed on the seed, but not at the harvest. All right. I have a Roth IRA. I love it. I got to start one for my grandson as well. I better ask Chris for a raise. They're not just tax deferred. The catch, the child needs earned income to open one. Trump accounts have no earned income requirement, so a newborn can have one. Hey, good stuff. All right. We got something good going for the Trump account here. Now versus whole life and infinite banking. A whole life policy, a child has no contribution limits. They do have limits. This is a little bit of a misnomer because it's going to be based upon the parent's income. All right. If your parents are trying to stuff $1 million in a child's bank account, the insurance company and a lot of these regulatory authorities, they're going to be looking at you like, hello, wake up. And I've got friends who make $250,000 a year and they haven't set up a policy for their kids. I'm like, what are you thinking? Like, bruv, It makes more sense to do it now. You just do it for 30 years. By the time that the kid is 30, they have a policy that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on how much you've put in. And you're in control of it till they're like 21. How does this not make sense? Like, talk to me for real. Well, let me get back to it here. So this is where the real conversation is. No government rule can change or alter the terms and immediate death benefit from day one. A Trump account locks money until 18 with penalties for early access, which can happen. A whole life policy can be accessed by the parent at any time. And the two strategies work together because a Trump account for the free $1,000 and you can IRA it until they're 18. And the whole life gives you accessible cash. But now the child has that for the rest of their life. So as long as they don't max out their policy loans and are actually good bankers, well, guess what? They have that money that's going to grow and compound for the rest of their life. Okay. So that's a very key thing. So yeah, I got you like that. Oh yeah. Chris Ash, it sounds like an RESP, a retired education savings plan. Yeah. Oh yeah. You guys got some good deals up there in Canada. I know it's a little bit weird up there, and trust me, I've got a story for you coming up about Canada and Germany coming in. So tell all your Canadian friends, because we got to talk about it. So if a parent can only do one thing financially for this year, what should it be? And what does the answer change based upon their income bracket? Now, world, I don't want to turn this into a frigging commercial for whole life insurance. But when we talk about multi-generational financial positioning, insurance covers a lot of things. All right. It just does. There's hands down. If you look at some of the wealthiest families, that's what it does. Now, let's just say you've got that all in there. Maybe you don't believe in whole life. All right, fine. Term insurance, blah, 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 blah. So now you want to buy term and invest the difference. Okay, cool. I still feel that setting up, and this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. All views and opinions are the views of myself, James McLeod. I still feel that you want to get your child set up, go 529. And now they have several different plays that they can do in order to use that money when they're going for their higher education. Right now, and I think even with the next 20 to 30 years, like my grandson, there's still going to be a place for an electrician in society within 25 years. That's assuming that he's going to enter the workforce by age 25. So if he's able to pay for his trade schools and account with any other government programs or subsidies that may be able to help him, in addition to the 529 plan, that helps him out tremendously. And we'll just have to have another type of savings account for him that will help him as he grows up older and older. The Trump account does give $1,000 up front. And if you are with the correct employer, that is also going to contribute. And hopefully it contributes not just one time, but year over year. You can't beat that. There's nothing better than matched money. That I'm definitely on board with. So if there is a per year, per annum, if you're fancy, contribution to the actual Trump account from your employer, then I say that that's a win. It might even be able to beat out a little bit of the 529. But remember, you're going to penalize on that withdrawal. So does it really make sense? I mean, they're not going to use that until later on. And I know a lot of us are concerned. I'm concerned. I'm Gen X. I'm Gen X right to a millennial. Is there going to be enough in my retirement? Is there going to be Social Security? I mean, we're going to continue to keep paying into Social Security. So I don't think it'll ever be gone, but it may be significantly reduced by the time I'm officially retirement age. So that makes me think, what about my children? What about my grandchildren? What about then? So this Trump account is a way to kind of hedge against that particular outcome. And it's something that we have to be aware of. It's something that we have to be cognizant about. The smartest people, the most established dynasties, both family and national, they don't think just 5 years down the road. They think 100 years down the road. Don't hustle for your first name, hustle for your last name. And I want all of you guys to make these key decisions now so that you and your family are prepared for the future. Because that if you weren't thinking like that, what are you watching WTF for anyway? Other than my good looks, of course. All right, Lynn, I'm glad. Thank you so much for chiming in again. But you got to give me some more negativity, Lynn. Not negativity, but opposition, Lynn. I have nobody to argue with today. So Lynn, I think we're on the same page, though, because you chime in and say, I think that whole life would be best. Here we go. I think that whole life would be best. But what about if someone doesn't have the money, each money, then 1,000 one time? Oh, I see what you're saying. Would give the child something, and then you don't have to contribute. Okay, so let's look into that. The idea for the Trump account, if I'm understanding you correctly, let's just say that you're of more modest means. Any money that is deposited, especially into a whole life, is good money. All right. You can, if a child is able to do $50, $100, whatever the particular minimums for that are set up, is better than no money. And yes, if you want to do a one-time deposit, maybe they don't have the $1,000 in disposable, just set it up as a no deposit. At least you have something working towards it. Something is better than nothing. And then, yes, that $1,000 deposit is good, but because the child is probably going to have needs as you get older, especially if somebody's at a point of financial vulnerability, then I'd still would have to say whole life, because it's never going to have less in terms of like minimums to get in. And of course, we want to build it up for the maximum as much as possible. It offers the most flexibility, and it offers a degree of tax advantages because it's a loan as opposed to a formal withdrawal. I can't say, it would have to go at this point at a person by person basis. Like, what is your budget? What is this person's budget at? Because the $1,000 that is deposited at the Trump level is pretty much negligible down the road. What is going to be $1,000 in 60 years? It's going to, the purchasing power of $1,000 today is going to be maybe $500, maybe $250 later on. Now, granted, with compounding growth and interest, that $1,000 is going to grow to something much more substantial. So we have to weigh all of that out. But if that's the case, then I get that same type of growth within a whole life insurance policy. So we have to run the numbers, and numbers are boring. I don't like numbers. Just draw me a picture. Just put it in the AI. I don't care if it hallucinates. But our personal philosophies have to play a position when we make this decision, and understanding what is the most responsible fiscal choice for ourselves. I think that a lot of people are going to go into the Trump account, and I'm so grateful that it's happening, because what's going to happen is people are going to start becoming more educated about the stock market. They're going to start watching these things. They're going to start watching these index funds. And try as we might, and I think I've heard Chris and a lot of other people say it, a lot of these funds have so much technology caked into them, built into them. It is super difficult for an individual investor to outsmart the Fidelity funds, your BlackRocks, your Vanguards, all these index funds, the Qs, which is Invesco. It's hard to outperform them. Trust me, I've tried, and I've lost a lot of money. Oh, Lord. So that's what you're able to do with these Trump accounts. You're able to take the money that you've deposited, and it goes into these particular funds. You're propping up the market. You're making sure the markets are solid and sound, and they're good for, it's good for this period of time. So thank you so much. IBC is more of an all-purpose financial vehicle. Thank you for pointing that out there. OPM, it's always about other people's money and pooled money. All right. Craig, what do you got? People are going to figure out how to work the system and screw up the money. Don't we always, brother? You have never lied. You have never lied. But you know what? Hopefully we learn from each other. And I want to leave you guys with a quote. I want you to share this with somebody today. And yes, I'm a little bit all over the place. So thank you for bearing with me. When people are screwing up money and people make mistakes, I'm often thought of this particular parable. And it's, a fool doesn't learn from their own mistakes. A smart person learns from their own mistakes. But a wise person watches other people make mistakes and never makes those mistakes for themselves. So we can watch some of these other people, because obviously we are a room full of very, very wise people in here. All right. And we want to learn from other people's mistakes. We understood that people did not, they put all their eggs in one basket. And I will be numero uno, primero even, and telling you putting your eggs in one basket is one of the best ways to have too much financial risk. Okay, the only way to avert financial risk and catastrophic loss is diversification, not over diversification, but diversification. It's the only way to hedge against a tremendous financial collapse in one sector. And I understand that some of us don't have that particular opportunity. Some of us can. Some of us have a little bit of real estate, a little bit of stock, a little bit of IBC, a small business. Heck, you got a Pokemon card collection stuffed in the trunk somewhere. Hey, cool. All right. You sell products on Etsy. You're diversified as all out, get out. But some of us are not at that point yet. And when you're just starting out, make sure that you focus on what you like the most, what you understand the most. And once you hit a particular financial threshold, once you hit your first, goal line, your first down, if you're in football, okay, now I can start to move into this. And your first investment, guys, is always within yourself. What is your best form of active income? Notice I didn't say a job, but what is your first form of income? Because that sets the platform for so many other things. I have a good friend. She is a lawyer, and she's a corporate lawyer. She makes very good money at a very, very young age. But she said, you know what? I'm going to sit down now that I've basically set up myself in New York City as this lawyer. I need to learn as much about real estate as possible because I refuse to be tied to this law job. I don't want them to be able to tell me, oh, you're fired, and now what am I going to do? So she focused on one thing, and then she moved into the next. So please, guys, I want you to definitely learn from this. We got a few more here. Where is the money? Excuse me. Hold on. Let's start from here. Inflation will impact it because we are spending more than we take in. Again, why are they taking $1,000 from me to give to a baby born over 3 years? Or even worse, why is deficit spending? Jim, yeah. Is it who is this? Is this Jim? My good Jim. Well, Jim, you know what? That's the trillion dollar question. If we don't plant the seeds for tomorrow, we'll never be able to reap any type of harvest. And it may seem unfair. It may seem to some people socialist. I know that's a bit of a hot topic word right now, that we're pooling our tax dollars and giving it to these kids. How dare we do that? But what is it also doing? It's also propping up a lot of the government. Are the benefits outweighing this particular investment? And the $1,000 that we're giving isn't a drop. It is not a drop in the bucket. It is a tear in the ocean in the overall landscape of the financial system right now. If anything, it's something that we should have done when we had budget surpluses years ago. We could have started all these other particular plans, but hindsight is 50-50. All right, where's the money coming from? The government, us. All right, the $1,000 is not government money. It's coming from people who donated it, not from our taxes. Lynn, I believe that's a misnomer. Michael Dell, who is donating $250 per person for the people during this spread, that is donated. But the $1,000 is from the government. If you have a link that says it is otherwise, please let me know. But this is the information that I have here. Thank you, Lynn. All right, I'm sure a tax benefit for the businesses. When is it ever? When is it ever not a tax benefit for businesses? Like straight up. So maybe if you have a business, you could donate the money to your child. I don't know if that's self-dealing. Watch out. All right. Am I also wrong? Am I thinking that almost any program designed to actually help actually worsens the problem? I think the 1K should be spent cloning you to teach everyone what you are saying right now. Craig, you're amazing. You're a real American hero. I'm going to see you on G.I. Joe. All right. So that's awesome, guys. Let's move on. We got some more stuff to talk about. SpaceX. Ow! I love Elon. Hello, Mr. Elon. Hi. My name's Elon Musk, and I like to build rocket ships and Teslas. And if you don't like what I have to say, F you. That's actually how Elon talks. I'm not sure if you said it, but SpaceX got into the NASDAQ. And it debuted June 12th. It hit 176 on day one. It was supposed to IPO at like $140. Now, guys, I'm not going to weigh you down with too many of the details about this, but take a look at SpaceX right now. Somebody pull it up. First person in the comments gets a high five from me. What is SpaceX trading at right now? I'm going to take your word for it because I'm multitasking right now. But here's what happened here. The system happened. There's so much money that went into SpaceX from public and private investors that it was crazy. It was like a shark feeding frenzy. It was like somebody dropped a bleeding cow into the middle of the ocean with shark infested waters. FOMO. People couldn't miss out. I didn't miss out. I knew hey, look, I need to hurry up and give me some SpaceX stock because I talk about it. It was ingrained in my brain. And I'm like, what if this is the literal parabolic rocket ship that I will look at 20 years, 10 years from now and be like, I'm so mad I didn't get on the IPO. That part got ingrained in my brain, despite some other people talking to you and saying, look, this stock is overvalued. It should be at $66. Remember all the facets of SpaceX. And I know it's not as sexy as it was 2 weeks ago or anything like that. But the facets of SpaceX is that the Starlink is its moneymaker. The government contracts that it makes are its moneymaker. It basically operates almost as a monopoly. The only other contenders in space travel and in space shipping is Boeing, and Blue Origin is not even close yet. They do space tourism, which is a big difference. SpaceX puts things up in the space and they leave them there. Blue Origin brings people up there so they can look, a star, and they come back down after like 15 seconds of weightlessness. Okay. whereas Boeing actually provides the planes that slingshot other planes up into the space, something like that. And what do we got? Okay, here we go. My understanding is that the money's not coming from our taxes. Okay, cool. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate that. SpaceX, ticker sign, is currently trading in the 151 to 155 range. Hey, all right, we got a little bit of growth here. So we're above 135, but we're at 155 now. So $20 per share, not too bad. It's been floating a little bit, but let's talk about the swings that happened in the market. Because these funds only had a limited amount of capital to basically absorb and integrate SpaceX into their portfolios, guess what happened? They sold off Microsoft. They sold off NVIDIA. They sold off all those sexy big tech stocks. They sold off Netflix. Ooh, Netflix is in trouble too, guys. If you want me to talk about Netflix, I can do an aside about it. They sold off a lot of their cornerstones of the Magnificent Seven into buying SpaceX. And it is now propping up a lot of their price. Of course, retail investors, of course we got into it. We were browbeaten into buying it. It's going to be the biggest thing in the world. And SpaceX did not have to do any advertising or marketing for this. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that amazing when your brand is so strong that people say, I need to get in on this? We are in the world of the celebrity CEO, which is great. Good. It encourages more of America's youth, international youth, to be celebrity CEOs. I run this, look at it. The first was probably what? Henry Ford, maybe Graham Bell, maybe. I don't know. But now ask somebody in high school. Don't go up to high schools and just randomly ask kids. It looks a little weird. Hey, who are your favorite CEOs that you know about right now? I think they'll actually be able to give you an answer. Just out of 10. I think they will be able to at least name Musk. All right. They may be able to mention Jensen Huang from NVIDIA. Maybe they'll say Steve Jobs. Who knows? Tim Cook. But think about how we know these names off the top of our heads. What do you think it's going to be within 10 or 20 years from now when they start entering the workforce? They're going to be growing up with these names. So let me get back to SpaceX. So the machine is set up. When I say the machine, I'm talking about the automated stock traders that are out there, that the machines, the AI that is out there, they automatically see these shifts in the market and they automatically buy into these stocks. This machine is stronger than any one person on any of these boards. And I think that's a little something confusing. It's concerning. Somebody needs to be able to hit the button. No, bad deal. But they didn't. So now, those of you who have 401ks, you bought into SpaceX. Now, thankfully, and thanks to our good work from our team here in of the world, SpaceX is 151 to 155, but it keeps moving from 151. All right, so if your firm was able to get in at the IPO, you're sitting okay. Good stuff. But heaven forbid that it doesn't. Now, normally, excuse me, let me read this here so I don't get any miswords. And if it's a little bit discordant, deal with me. On July 7th, first, NASDAQ added SpaceX to the NASDAQ 100 index on July 7th, forcing every fund that tracks the QQQ, that's Invesco, that's 500 billion with a B in assets to start buying SpaceX shares automatically. Analysts estimated that 4.3 to 27 billion in forced passive buying. We hear billion so much, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't even sound like a real number. It's like saying, yeah, I went to the store the other day and bought milk, eggs, and bread. Billion is a lot of money, okay? And forced passive buying. But the same rebalancing forced those funds to sell Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Alphabet to make room. Second, S&P said no. To get the S&P, the index that most 401s track, a company needs 4 quarters of positive GAAP earnings. Somebody can look that up and see what that means. And 12 months as a public company. SpaceX lost $4.94 billion last year, and XAI, with which SpaceX acquired in early 26, burned $7.7 billion in capital expenditures in just the first 3 months of the year. SpaceX can't get into the S&P 500 until mid-2027 at the earliest, and Morningstar put fair value at $63 per share. So your 401 may now hold SpaceX as a NASDAQ future fund, whether you want it to or not. Those of you with 401ks, how does that make you feel? Impartial? Maybe you're like, I don't know, I got a degree of apathy. I don't have any control over it anyway. You just told me, James, that hey, these funds, they outperform everything else if I were to work as an individual investor. So why do you want me to be mad that SpaceX is part of my fund? That's what I'm saying. Like, look, this is part of the bigger system. And, I didn't bring my tinfoil hat, but that's something that we have to be aware of. And remember what I also said, massive diversification. All right. I'm not a huge fan of SpaceX, but I'm also guilty of it as well. All right, guys, let's move on to the USA news here. I got to figure how to do this. Somebody help me out. We're going to do media assets. And, well, I don't know. This looks like it's cool. Let's see what happens here. All right. Well, that was pretty good. AI cameras at rental car companies. This was submitted by Shauna. I looked over this video, and how many of you in here have ever rented a car from a Hertz or Sixt, which does all the luxury cars, maybe even Enterprise? You've been there? You done that? And you know how you guys go out. We go out. I used to work for Enterprise, by the way. And what happens is when you get the car, the associate comes out there with you. In many cases, if it's like Enterprise, if it's an airport brand, they just say, yeah, the car is in such and such base, or we're going to bring it out to you. Car looks good. You notice that there's no major issues with it. All right, cool. And you're off you go. They hand you your keys and you're off to the races. Well, AI has officially entered the chat. And what's happening is when you return the vehicle, it goes through an AI scanner. I don't know if it's a tunnel or something like that. There's two different companies that are offering this technology, and I'm going to get into them in a bit. And what happens is they can ding you for things that you may not even be responsible for. And some people are being charged as much as $1,500 for a damage that they never even knew was there. They can't even confirm whether or not the damage was there before they even rented the car, because you know what? It just doesn't do the outside, like the top of the vehicle. Oh no, it goes under the vehicle as well. So when was the last time you rented a car and you went and said, oh, let me look under the hood here? Oh, okay. You're not going to do that. And this technology is now passing these damages on to the renter. Look, I'm as AI as the next guy. I know it's got its pros, its cons, and I feel that right now this is not fair. There needs to be something happening. Either, hey, look, you ain't going to charge me for this. And I've been overcharged by a rental car company. I've charged people too much as a rental car company. I admit it. So number one, what can we do? Well, at least let me give you a little bit of background information here before I miss anything. Rental car companies are replacing human inspectors with AI camera systems that scan vehicles in as little as 5 seconds. Oh, good job. Hertz is using UVI technology at 6 airport locations and plans to expand to roughly 100. Sixt uses Prove Station at Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta, Charlotte, Miami, and Maui. Now, here's the problem. Hertz is the only U.S. rental car company that issues damage assessments without human review. One customer received a $1,500 bill returning her car with 2 orange boxes flagged in AI scan photos she couldn't even interpret. It could have been just a marker and just and messed the whole thing up. That's not a damage. That's not $1,500 worth of damages, but it could. But according to the AI, hey, that's a problem. Proof Station's own marketing describes routine inspections as gold mines of untapped opportunities. To me, that's corporate talk for let's get more of these people's money. Let's give me your money. All right. Which tells you something about their incentive structure. Customers who leave the lot before getting the AI report in writing have almost no recourse afterwards. So far, for those of you flying to Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta, Charlotte, Miami, Maui, hey, if you rent a car from there, y'all know what to do. Photograph and video the car at pickup. Roof, undercarriage, all 4 size. Timestamp it. All right. Seal it with a kiss. all that good stuff. Do not leave the rental location till you receive the AI scanner report in writing. And once you leave, your options shrink dramatically. Apps like Proofer and Raven give renters the same AI scanning technologies these companies are using. So you run your own scan at startup. You know what I think would be funny? What if Proofer and Raven are the same companies as Proof Station and UVI? Oh, they get both money on both ends. You got to love capitalism. You got to love it. Oh, I got some comments coming in here. Let's see what we have here. All right. Elon. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, yeah. Keeps moving from 151. Elon's a smart guy. Agreed. Unless you play the other volatiles, 2 of 5x. Yep. Dexter. Yep. Let's see what happens here. Raindrops show up as damage. I could imagine. Force you to buy insurance. And guess what? You still have to pay the deductible on the insurance. Stop renting. Use small businesses. Turo. Hey, Dexter. My man, Dexter in San Diego. Type that again for all the people in the back. Just go ahead and do it. Use Turo. Even though they're ripping people off too. I love Turo. Yes, at least Turo will pick you up. Turo will meet you at the airport. I'm surprised that there's not a competitor to Turo at this particular point. For those of you who don't know, Turo is like the Airbnb, but just for cars. And what you could do is if you have a car that is sitting around not making you any money, you could put it right there and rent it. It is not a hands-off business. Okay, it's not a hands-off business. You are basically being paid for having the car, and you're also being paid for the level of service that you provide. And they do offer insurance on top of your vehicle while the vehicle is rented, which is one of the ways that Turo makes money. I'm very surprised that more people haven't gotten into this, and this is more people don't know about it. Business scam. Amen. And yeah, still waiting on my deposit 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, Tina, we got to talk about it. Holy moly. You're still waiting for a deposit from 2 years ago from a rental car company? I don't know, but they may have a few flat tires on their fleet if I don't have my money after 2 years. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm just saying it isn't my fault that they ran over a whole bunch of thumbtacks in the parking lot. I didn't know that they were there. Right? So let's go on what to do. If you get a damage bill, dispute it. All right. File a charge back with your credit card immediately and submit your video evidence. Many premium credit cards include rental car damage protection that bypasses the rental company entirely. So for all you Platinum Amex holders, all my Chase Sapphire card holders, all of you guys who get in all those fancy lounges, and those lounges are fancy. And ladies and gentlemen, I will consume $700 worth of food at airport lounges. I will get my money's worth at an airport lounge. That's how much the fee is with like Amex Platinum, $700. Oh, trust me. Nom. Okay. So here's our questions, guys. Proof Station calls inspection gold mines of untapped opportunities. We can read between those lines. I don't even need to repeat that. Hertz issues damage charges without a human ever reviewing the scan. How was that fair? Maybe they're looking at rain and saying, yep, you brought the car back wet. You owe us money. Exactly. So does regulation need to step in, or do you think common sense is just going to ring through? Do you think that the companies are going to say, hey, look, we don't like this? Like, think about this. Raise your hand, comment, I hear, read, whatever you can. If you have one of those speed trap cameras in your city, and what city are you in? I want to know. We had those in Western New York. We had them more specifically in Buffalo. They were in school zones, and they drew traffic to an absolute standstill at every single school zone throughout the city, even if the school zones were 3 blocks away. Ooh, it makes me want to punch a puppy when I remember this. But here's the caveat. None of the processing of these particular fines went to the city, went to a third party. And then that money was divvied up between that corporation and the city. So if the ticket was $30, the city only got 10. Now they're like, hey, look, everybody can agree on more safety in our cities. Of course you want to drive slow at a school zone, and by George, I agree. But I also want to mention that who was driving the vehicle? You can't confirm that. That's why a lot of these cameras got pulled back. So AI in traffic is not there yet. I'm going to put it that way. Plus, you don't even know you get the fine half the time. Okay. What cities do we got here? Oh, we got a few new comments popping up here. Sorry. Service and maintenance. Turo's more convenient too. I dropped the ball. Sorry about that, Tina. That's okay. Thanks for being honest with you. Thank you for confessing. I need to do a segment called Your Confessions with St. James. Eve, Turo puts insurance on it. That's if you are the actual renter of the vehicle. Excuse me. If you are the person who has the vehicle, who owns it, you get insurance. And then also a person can opt for insurance on the vehicle as well. And use Waymo. Oh, Lord. Dexter. Y'all got Waymo out there in San Diego, don't you? Right? What do you think about it? What do you think about Waymo? That's a pretty serious thing right there. These self-driving cars are no joke. And I mean, eventually there's going to be that convergence. There will be a convergence where you buy a car. I know Elon, your people's boy. He's like, I'm going to make sure that everybody has a car that they can just send out and it can be a taxi. You know what? That's a pretty cool thing. But have you guys seen what Waymo is doing? Excuse me. First off, Waymo is way ahead of Tesla. Way ahead of Tesla when it comes to autonomous and self-driving vehicles. They use their tech stack is way beyond it. LiDAR, radar, and cameras. Where Tesla is in the lead on this, excuse me, guys, where Tesla is ahead is that they have all the driving data from every single Tesla that's on the road. Kind of scary, isn't it? And Waymo, their cars are going to be set up to be commuter vehicles. They have a van, and I don't know how to pull it up. I don't want to detract from your guys' attention. And thank you so much for tuning in, all of you guys, all 34 of you guys, and don't be afraid to throw a few likes in there if you can, please. It always helps the algorithm. We're always looking each and every single day to become better and better. And even those likes, they help out a whole lot in the algorithm in Mark Zuckerberg's internet. So getting back to Waymo, they've set up actual vans. These vans, like the doors open up so that it's a wide gap that you can just walk right into the doorway, and the seats even face each other. So now you can talk to people. What if you have that as your fleet? But wait a minute. Are you allowed to own a Waymo vehicle, or are they all corporately controlled? I wonder. You answer that. You already know the answer. Waymo owns all the cars, and they're not selling them to individuals, at least not as of yet. At least with Tesla, with their robo-taxis, the Tesla taxis, whatever they're called, you'll be able to own the taxi and send it out into the world. But I'm sure it won't be a matter of time. It's only a matter of time before Elon's like, I need to make all the money, so I'm recalling all of them. And you have no control over these vehicles. I don't want to sound like a Luddite. I don't want to sound like I'm anti-technology, but there's no steering wheel in the Tesla taxis. So I want you guys to keep that in mind when we're talking about these things. I don't know how we got there when we were talking about rental cars, but I mean, it's an option there for you. You know, we have to weigh the options. I took a trip to Orlando, rented a car from the airport from Turo. They picked me up in their parking lot. It was a great vehicle. Shout out to Simone. And it was great, but Orlando's a very big city from side to side, and we were all over the place, even though we were parked downtown, closer to downtown. And to take a Waymo from all these different places would have been a huge cost. So it made more sense for us to rent. So again, weigh your pros and cons about all these things and make sure your friends in town have a car for you to use. Okay. Let's see. She hates those. Okay, cool. We had them in Ontario till the premier got rid of them last fall. Municipalities admitted that it was more of a revenue tool than a safety tool. That's right. I remember I actually used to live in Calgary. And if you were on McLeod Trail, they had a white truck parked under an overpass that was taking photos of you when you went past them. All right. So Dougie, Dougie is your premier, right? Dougie is, love him or hate him. I hate him. But Dougie, I'm glad that he got rid of him. I hope that he did, because it wasn't a safety tool. Kissimmee, Orlando. Hey, that's my favorite city in Florida. I don't like many cities in Florida, but when I do, Orlando. All right. The Waymo is speeding in a school zone. If Waymo is speeding in a school zone, who gets the ticket? To my understanding, that the Waymo is particularly designed right now never to do that. That's the Waymo corporate answer. Now, if it is not speeding because it is owned by Waymo and you are just a passenger, then it sounds to me like the Waymo itself would be liable for the ticket. That's the only plausible reason, because you literally have no control over the vehicle. You can't say like, yeah, I told the Waymo to speed it up and it listened to me. So I don't think that legislation is fully fleshed out yet, but based upon our logic, if you don't have means to driving the vehicle, then your Waymo is responsible. All right, running past accidents, going past stop signs, hanging out them red lights, twerking on them headlights. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys get that reference. So here's the fun story about that really quickly. Some of you guys may have heard about how Waymo, there was an accident, a pedestrian unfortunately was hit, and the Waymo dragged the person. Now, what happened is twofold. One, the Waymo actually did detect the accident. And what it was doing is it was actually pulling over, trying to get out of the way without realizing that it was still dragging the person. Yikes. And since that particular occurrence happened, they're like, okay, if it's in an accident and a human is involved, now the logic is saying stay still and wait for ambulance EMS services to arrive so that it doesn't exacerbate the situation. So that's something I mean, it was a bad situation that led to a more positive outcome. I'm trying to say that as carefully as possible because I don't want anybody to get hit by a car. And the unfortunate truth for some people and the fortunate truth for others is that self-driving cars, by far and wide, every particular accident that they're involved in, it is usually the fault of the human driver, not the robot. Go figure. Think about it. The robots don't get tired. They don't have driver's fatigue. They follow the letter of the law. They're not impatient. And trust me, I want all the human truckers out there. I want the human cab drivers. Hey, look, you're talking to a dude who Uber saved his life for a little while financially. So I definitely want to bring that up there, guys. Screw those cars. I'm ready for the flying cars. Hey, move to China. They got them already. We've got the solo quadricopters out there. And Dexter, like, look, they look nice. Orlando's a nice city. I agree. I'm coming to your barbecue. Got a side hustle. Absolutely. And finally, there's a viral video going around showing a driver sleeping while riding in a Tesla down the Trans-Canada Highway. Absolutely. Thank you, Gina, for chiming in there. It is 100% true. I mean, I've seen people on the QEW just riding right down the street, and they're cheating. As a matter of fact, there was actually a very funny video of what they're doing in China. They had like these little finger puppets, and what they do is they stick them in front of the camera, and the finger puppet is just a face, and they'll have like the Rock's face and all these different people's faces, and they stick them right where the camera is so it looks like a human face. Meanwhile, people are actually asleep at the wheel. Go figure. Go figure. We're running short on time here, guys. Let's get to something. Since I got a lot of Canadians on board here, let's talk about Canada. World and global. Pretend I played the blurb about it. Canada just committed to its biggest military purchase ever. 12 German submarines for $100, say it with me, billion. The U.S. wasn't invited to bid. Now, let me give you a little bit of background. Prime Minister Carney announced that July 6th, Canada selected German manufacturing TKMS, Germany Marine Systems, to build 12 Type 212 CD submarines in the largest defense procurement in Canadian history. The full cost, including maintenance, infrastructure, and weapons over the life of the contract, is expected to be above $100 billion Canadian. Canada currently has one functional submarine. Yikes, that's a lot of coastline to protect with just one submarine. The other three are being cannibalized for parts, and the Germans also promised to add $86 billion to Canada's GDP over the life of the deal. Before I even go to any of my notes, Germans are building the submarines again, folks. And if it's not an American submarine that's being built, I ain't gonna lie to you, I want it to be German. They know their submarines. I don't know where they know them from, but they know them, right? And for those of you who are saying, well, what the hell does that have to do with here in America? Number one, we missed the bid as a result of who knows what. Maybe it was like, Canada was like, we really do not need to rely on America as much, so let's go internationally. Maybe They already knew America's prices were too doggone high. Maybe it's like, you know what? You guys try to hit us with, you know what? Let's stay on point. I also know that for a little bit, if my good friends Nagy and Nagel were here, they would say, well, good, because more of these foreign nations need to be responsible for their own security. And to a certain degree, I agree. Okay. Because if the U.S. is not the world police, yeah, then now what can happen is that opens up our defense budget. But imagine now, this is a double-edged sword. Walk with me now. Walk with me. Please walk with me here, everybody. If our surrounding neighbors spend more on defense and military spending, does that mean that the United States can spend more or less in their military budgets? Just think about it. If my neighbor to the left and my neighbor to the right buy more guns, do I need to buy more guns, or do I just have a more secure neighborhood? What if I tell my neighbor to keep the noise down one day? Or am I less likely to tell my neighbor to keep the noise down? Do I need to buy more guns? And this is my metaphor, guys. This is my allegory. Okay. In times of peace, okay, prepare for war. And in times of war, prepare, want peace. I want a lot of peace, and I want less military spending so it can go more into the infrastructure of America. Let's develop this sovereign wealth fund. Take it out the wealth budget. And you know what? Heck, if we are the ones who are providing the submarines, the planes, the drones, which a lot of us are doing, Raytheon, what up, yo? Okay, then that's not such a bad idea. I mean, let's face it. We know that the military industrial complex is not going anywhere anytime soon. Right? We just saw that this whole ceasefire deal with Iran is out the window again. Hope you guys filled up on your tanks. Here we go. I thought South Korea offer was better, but carnage is way too Eurocentric. I hear what you're saying there, Chris. I'm not sure how that happens. When I have my Tesla drive and I glance and the cell phone beeps for me, look at the road. Okay, unfortunately, I can't go there. And Germany has a history of building subs, baiting back to the U-boats. I knew somebody would pick that up. I know you were putting down what you were picking up what I was putting down there. Okay, so Germany has gone from 1.3 of the GDP of defense spending before Russia invaded Ukraine to committing to now 3.5%. Poland's at 4%, the highest in NATO. Japan doubled its defense budget for the first time since World War II. Australia signed AUKUS, excuse me if I mispronounced it, for nuclear submarines. The UK is at 2.5% and rising. More countries are arming up, raises a genuine debate worth having. NATO allies are finally spending their own money on defense after decades of U.S.-funded protection. They're not wearing protection, guys. They weren't wearing protection all this time. What is going on? But now they've got submarines. The U.S. builds nuclear submarines, so is now a good time to get into more military stocks? I don't know. The U.S. builds nuclear submarines. Canada wanted diesel electric. The world's largest military power wasn't eligible to bid on its own neighbor's biggest defense contract, which I find kind of interesting because Canada sits on a lot of uranium. They sit on a lot of nuclear material. A lot of people don't know that. U.S. defense budget is $895 billion for fiscal year 2026. That's $2,700 for every American man, woman, and child. If NATO is financially self-sufficient, which is something that Trump was pushing for, what's the argument for keeping that number growing? All right, so that's a pretty big thing there. So anyways, my favorite shotgun is named Peacekeeper. I'm pretty sure that you got that from Red Dead Redemption. All right. So that's awesome there, guys. Well, I appreciate talking to you guys about all these topics here. It has been an absolute pleasure talking to all of you, each and every single one of you, about all these topics. And seeing that my time is coming to a close, I would just want to leave you guys with a few key premises here. Number one, be good to each other. I don't care what your political affiliation is. Don't let these politics separate us. I don't care what side of the border you're on. I don't care if you're American, Canadian, guys. We are all in this sumbitch together. Number two, make sure you educate your family on finances, because you may not come from a rich family, but you can be the first one to get it started. And the step one is getting the education. Don't wait for to win the lottery. Don't wait for any of these magical happens. Hey, hard work, diversification, and sincere knowledge is going to get you there. Okay. We owe it to ourselves. We owe it to our legacy to make sure that we are as financially free as possible, because with that comes more stability. With that becomes more freedom. With that becomes more, you name it. Yeah, more money, more problems. Guess what? Sometimes I want rich people problems held in a lot more than I want poor people problems. And if you agree with me, you can type something in the comments. And finally, guys, I'm going to see you, all of you all, next week. Thank you so much. My name is St. James. It's been a pleasure having your ears. And I don't know what outro I'm playing, but here we go. All right. This might be an outro. No, it's not. I'll see y'all later.